Looks like Mark was looking for a count on crossbow bolts, possibly, for ammo.
Or just a regular bow and arrow, I guess he was looking for.
You have enough to fire it five times?
Yeah, he was out. He's already past that. So at this point, if he rolls a 0 or lower, he's out of ammo. So he was wanting to see if there was a reload on that.
You find more in the weapon room or in the equipment room.
So you're back up to whatever that number was that we found in the rule book, Mark. You're back up to that number.
Is that a special rule somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
For ammo? Where is that found?
Yeah,
it's in the core book.
It's in the core book, yeah.
Oh, it is in the core book. Oh.
Yeah, it's basically you start out with 5 arrows, and then you count those off, and once you're below 5, anytime you roll a 0 or lower, you run out of ammo. Otherwise, you always have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's page. I don't know what page it is. It is
Just
104.
Right.
It just minimizes the tracking, but it doesn't get rid of the chance of running out. If you were far away from stuff, you could still be screwed.
I got you.
See, he rolled 0 or less. Okay, let's get back to the action here. So your ship has taken off, and it has just left the moon of Tartarus. And as the ship leaves the atmosphere, the ride becomes immediately smoother as you leave the rough atmosphere of the moon, and you start going into the much smoother ether. And so as things start to settle down, you can hear your clockwork friend busily working on the control panel in the central chamber of the ship. And you also notice, Blue in particular, you notice that there is a tingling sensation in your pack. The pack that you keep your egg in.
Sorry, I was getting rid of the chewing.
I saw.
All right, well, I'll pull the egg out and take a look and see what it's got going on.
Okay, your egg is glowing.
Oh, shit. All right, I keep this knowledge from everybody as I can. I kind of try to cover it so they don't see this egg, this holy relic of my people. And I just try and look at it just to see if I can determine what might be causing this glow, since it's never done this before.
You're not really sure. You have never seen it do this before. In fact, it's basically been inert for the time that you have had in your possession. In fact, let's think back on that. How did you come into possession of this egg?
Well, actually, it was this egg was in the dungeon, and it was someone else, or not in the dungeon, but in the surgeon's vault. And I did not bring it there with me. Some other patient of his must have owned it at some point, and it found its way to me because it knew that it needed to be with its rightful people.
Well, of course. That only makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so this egg is vibrating furiously. It's almost like it's wanting to hatch.
So, we don't want that to happen. There's a god inside. That'll be probably bad for us.
The god inside.
Yeah. So I'm going to go to the captain's quarters, and I'm going to set it on the bed. I'm going to drag the body out into the hallway, and then let the egg kind of build the blankets up and the pillow up as best I can and as clean as I can around the egg, and let it sit there. And I'm going to guard the door on the inside of the room, but right at the door.
Okay. All right, and as you do that, you hear a voice coming from the central chamber saying, excuse me, sirs, a bit of assistance, please?
Indeed.
Anyone?
Indeed, Captain.
What is that weird thing yelling?
That is the captain of the ship.
We have a captain of a ship?
We do. What is your name, Captain?
They call me Bot.
Bot. Captain Bot.
And we seem to have a bit of a situation here. It seems that Enya is not at full capacity, and she is very hungry. So I am trying my best to control her, and yet she is not wanting to follow my directions. So she is a bit out of control at the moment. Let me try to show you what she is doing. And Bot is like furiously pulling knobs and levers with his 4 tentacles. One of them keeps going up to the circlet that keeps trying to fall off its head to keep it stable. And then a holographic image appears, magically appears in the air above the central control panel. And it shows a display of the you're not really sure what to make of it. It looks like a sun in the center of it, and then it's got a bunch of circles around it, and it appears to be set on a grid. It looks a lot like this.
Jupiter.
Whoops. Looks a lot like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so this kind of displays up above the central control panel, and you can see that there are various things lighting up on this holographic map, and it finally settles here on Tartarus, and then there's a little
Where is Tartarus?
right down here.
Oh, that's it.
And then there's this little glowing dot that kind of is coming off of Tartarus and is just like flying into space. And then it zooms in to Tartarus, and it looks like it's scanning the area, and it zooms in on a quadrant that is nearby that appears to have a cluster of rocks or asteroids as we know them to be. And then the ship appears to move in that direction. And as it does so, Bot is saying, Enya is appearing to be searching for a source of nourishment. And it looks like she has found some in that cluster of asteroids. I'm trying to veer her from it, but she won't listen to me. I'm afraid she's going to be quite difficult to deal with until she has a full belly.
Does she eat dead bodies? We can throw some out the port or something.
He says, no, I'm afraid that ether beasts have a very special diet. Their food can only be found in the ether.
All right, I guess so.
Let her eat.
He says,
she's going to eat an asteroid field.
An asteroid field is not a very safe place. We shouldn't dally there any longer than we need to.
Is there any place else for her to eat?
I really couldn't say. She is very famished at the moment, and she's finding the nearest source of food.
Nice.
Oh, I am Bot, by the way, and pleasure to make your acquaintance. And who might I have the pleasure of speaking with?
Does he see me?
It's a clockwork, so it is a living creature, and so it does not see you.
Is it insane?
It is. It does not appear to be insane.
Okay. Well,
one of the few creatures you have met that is not insane.
That is not it.
I am Green Glow, the Disembodyo.
And he's like, where did that voice come from?
I'm here.
I thought you don't glow green.
I do glow green when I turn on my power.
Oh, okay.
That makes me visible.
Might as well.
But I'm not going to do that.
All right.
I'm going to create a mystique about me.
Okay.
All right, Steve, so you're cleaning up the place. What are you going to do with the bodies and the gore?
I am going to just dump them in the weapons room.
I need bones to make more skeletons, so I'll collect as many as I can.
Okay.
Well, once again, it goes in the weapons room. You're making them weapons.
Bot notices what you're doing, and he says, "Oh, the bodies," and he kind of stops for a moment. He says, "Oh dear, the crew's all dead, aren't they?"
Yeah, it looks like.
I'm suddenly saddened, but nothing I can do about it now. The bodies can be disposed of in the hatch. And he points to the entrance where you guys came in.
What happens to the bodies? We just put them there, or does something happen to them?
That is where Enya disposes of all her waste.
Okay. Well, no, we need these bodies. So
It's her
Yeah,
arse.
they're not waste for us. We're gonna keep them in the weapons room.
Yes, we need them, but if you ever find dead bodies, please drag them to the ship and store them here.
He says, you are peculiar creatures.
It is part of my religious beliefs. So do it.
Because we're not human.
That's right.
says-
So just do it.
He says, and what religious belief would that be?
That would be
If you don't mind my asking.
I believe in the dark one that resides in the center of the universe.
Oh dear, that's fascinating.
Uh-huh.
He says, I've spent the last 20 years serving the children of the sun, who seem to have a bit of an opposing worldview, or universal view, as it were.
Do you know someone by the name of Liza Drun?
He says, of course, she was a crewmate. She was with us when we were attacked.
We tried to save her life, but she refused to be left behind, or she refused to come. She wanted to stay behind to defend all of the people in the imprisoned where we were imprisoned. She died a hero.
Well, that certainly does sound like her. She was brave. Of course, the entire crew was brave. I was the only coward hiding in the equipment room like I was, and I'm quite ashamed of that. But I'll get over it. And
That's why you're alive and they're not.
That's right.
He says that when Lord when Lord Cronus attacked and his ship of Reen brought us down, Liza was taken away from the rest of us. Her fate was unknown to us, and it saddens me greatly to know that she perished at the hands of one of those foul creatures.
Yeah, I think they cut off one of her hands, one of her feet at the ankle. I think both ears were gone and one eye.
Dear. Oh my!
I'm trying to think of what else she had lost, but she stood and fought. That's the one good thing about it.
Oh goodness! Well, thank you for that visual.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that greatly. So
he just twitches a little bit.
So you guys eventually stop, and the on the view screen, or the holographic image that I'm not going to call it holographic. That's too sci-fi. The magical image that is projected above the control panel shows a field of, looks like giant rocks just floating in blackness, basically, and the ship, the purring sound that you heard from it while it was revving up and taking off, it basically goes down to like a minimal buzz, a minimal purr, and Bot says that she's feeding, and she normally will take a few hours to fill herself before she is ready to proceed. So while we are waiting, let me do a full diagnostic on the ship to see what else needs perhaps to be healed. She is a living creature and can be damaged as any living creature can. So he's like moving a bunch of knobs and stuff, and he says, well, it seems that she has some damage to a few vital areas. But it seems like something is causing her damage now on the exterior. In fact, there are 3 sources of pain that she is registering at the moment on her hull.
Mm-hmm. Can you put it on screen?
And he does, and it looks like there are these weird creatures.
Magnify.
That there are some weird creatures that are on the outside of the ship, on her hull, and they seem to be munching on a couple of on 3 different spots of her hull, and you can see that they've penetrated the exterior and have gotten to some squishy bits underneath. And Bot says that she's not going to be able to shake these. They're far too small. We may have to go out and take care of this directly.
Oh, darn it! I can't fit in the spacesuit. You guys have fun out there.
He says, "There's no need for that. We have magic that is designed to protect you from the rigors of the ether."
That's good. Do they look like the ring that we left behind that stayed on?
Can you project me visually, and I'll go ahead and light up? Can you project me visually?
Where'd that come from? Bug! Bug!
Just swat at it, it'll go away.
What are you guys talking about? He's always here.
I know, right?
Right.
Can you project me visually to these creatures?
Not quite sure what you mean.
Can you use magic to put just like we're looking at them from in here, can they look at him from out there?
No, I don't think it works that way.
So can I go out there and fight it without needing anything?
Yes. If you go into the equipment room, there's a stack of scrolls, and in them you will find a scroll that is marked Aetherscape.
What language is it in?
I'll read it for you.
You'll find several of those, actually.
Mm.
Do you want to go out by yourself and kill all 3 of them? I'm afraid if you go berserk, though, you're going to have to start killing the ship. It's a living creature.
Yeah,
I think that might be unsafe.
He wails on the ship. That'd be nice.
I'm still good 4 away from going insane.
Yeah.
Do the creatures look like Reen that have latched on?
No, these actually look like organic creatures. When he zooms in on them, you can see that they basically look like blobs of jelly with some tentacles coming off of them, and they're just like sucking some fluids out of some holes that they made in the hull.
Oh,
They seem to be dripping some kind of acidic
space parasites.
Something like
All right,
that.
I'm gonna go grab a scroll and go after that one.
Okay. You go into the chamber, and there's actually a number of scrolls. There's a stack of scrolls that's got they're tied together, and it's got a label on it, and the label basically says "For Enya only!" ! And then it's got a separate stack of scrolls. Each of them is labeled something different, but you do find several scrolls that are labeled Aetherscape. And as you unscroll it and read it, you note that it's a spell that for the duration, the target no longer needs to breathe, and a faint crystalline scaling covers its body. The target is incapable of speaking or smelling, but it is immune to depressurization. So at this point, you are fairly safe to leave the ship without fear of being depressurized to death out in the ether.
Okay. I'm gonna go fight that one.
What is the duration? Can we tell with my academic studies of magic, which is one of my professions?
Yeah, give me a intellect challenge roll, if you would please. Add a bane for that knowledge.
All right. Do I get a boon for being knowledgeable, practiced in that?
A boon for the knowledge.
All right. 13 is the roll.
Yeah, you've heard of this spell, and you've heard that it lasts for several hours, probably up to 4 hours.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure it wasn't a minute. get his ass out there.
Wouldn't be
All
very
right,
practical.
All right, so we need to tie you to something, though, don't we? I mean, don't you think you should be tied into something?
And as you look around the equipment room, you do indeed find 5 coils of rope stacked neatly against the wall.
All right. How long does a coil look?
That's a good question.
I'm just wondering if he needs all 5 of them because these things are pretty far apart on the different locations on the ship.
Hmm.
And does anybody else want to go out with him? Just asking.
Yeah, I'll go out because I don't need that scroll.
Because you don't give a because you're just dead anyway.
I'm dead anyway. I don't think.
What about depressurization? Will that still fuck with you?
I don't think that would because that's just air inside, and I don't have air.
Yeah,
Well,
he doesn't have any functioning organs. I don't know why he would explode.
Let's see here. I've got it. I've got it in the poll of the stars here. Depressurization in airless environments, living and breathing creatures must get a success on a strength challenge roll at the end of each round, or take a D3 damage from depressurization until the creature returns to a pressurized environment, such as an ether suit. Damage from depressurization leaves hideous bruises over exposed skin. So, are you considered a living creature?
No.
Are you considered a breathing creature?
No.
Well, you're good to go.
All right. Yeah, so we'll just tie you 2 to the end of some ropes, and I'll dangle you out there, see if we can catch some fish.
Okay, so
Okay, I guess that works.
Barnora, as you start getting ready to go out, Bot says, you may want to take a breathing tank unless you don't need to breathe.
Where are those?
They're on the suits that are hanging on the wall.
Okay. Pop a tank
I
off.
thought the spell said I didn't have to do any of that.
Oh, that only protects you from the rigors of the ether. It doesn't help you breathe any better.
By
guess so.
getting in a suit.
Yeah, why don't you just get in a suit, man?
No, who is? Yeah.
Nah, I'm not going to get in the suit. I'll just put on the air tank.
All right.
Okay. Basically, you just have to unstrap it from the suit, and you do have to take the breather from the helmet, and it fits over your mouth and your nose, and the tank just straps to your back. But after you strap it on, you breathe just fine. And Bot yells out, "Let me know when you want me to open the hatch."
Are they going out the same place the waste goes out?
Yeah, that's the only way in and out. So that's basically the ship's ass, and so that's it doubles as its waste disposal and its entry and exit.
That is one friendly space creature.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we go down there. We go down through the little floaty disc. Is there somewhere to tie these ropes off on the inside at all, or?
Yeah, there are actually hooks that are all along the wall next to the hatch, and you can easily tie yourself off.
Yeah, I'm gonna tie the shit out of these like super triple knots doubled around everything, and the same around both of them, and then wave at them as they step out into space.
All right, who all is going out?
Baranora and Vorvon is the way I understand it.
Yeah, I'll bring my corpse with me.
Okay, where's Barnora? Barnora, where'd you go? There you are.
I'm gonna ride with one of you.
Getting your tokens out here. Just bear with me a moment. And there you are. Just like magic. Okay.
Oh, can I have the corpse as well? Because would it be able, all right? Does this have some gravity where you can walk on it?
No, you're actually in a zero gravity environment now, so that has an effect on you as well. So the experience of null gravity is disorienting and challenging. There's no up, there's no down, and precious little to grab hold of. Creatures must pull or push themselves along an object or surface, throw something, or otherwise provide an oppositional force to move in null gravity. Those capable of natural flight can do so normally, provided there is any atmosphere to fill their wings, while magical flight is unimpeded. Enclosed environments such as asteroid caves are relatively straightforward to navigate, but in open environments such as we are in now, combat carries the added risk of being knocked or launched into the ether. So it's a good thing you had the foresight to tie ropes to yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Any creature or unsecured object in null gravity that takes damage from a weapon or other physical object, or that is subject to an effect that would push or knock it back, such as a blast, immediately moves 1d3 yards further away. It moves an additional 1 yard in the same direction at the end of that round and of each round thereafter until it encounters a solid secured surface. So hopefully we won't have to worry about that. So that's the effect of, that's really the only effect of null gravity. It's a bit disorienting, but none of that says that you have any negative combat effects. You do basically have to crawl along the surface of the shell, however. As long as you're in contact with it, then there's enough, just being in contact with the shell is enough surface tension to keep you from being launched out into space. But again, if you do take damage, then you'll be floating off the shell and have to pull yourself back, rein yourself back in. So, having said all of that, you guys exit the portal, the ass, onto the wing, and there between the wing is kind of in the center of the shell. So I don't have a side view of this giant turtle. So just kind of imagine the side view where the wing is kind of in between the top portion of the shell and the bottom portion of the shell. So you basically have to climb up to get to the top of the shell where the creatures, where one of the creatures are. Another one of the creatures is looks like at the end of the wing that you have just emerged on. And then the third creature is on the opposite wing on the other side of the ship. So, who's going where? Let me get rid of the turn order here, since we only have two of you out here. And you can put yourself up on the board if you want to join the fray later. Otherwise, we will just have Vorvan and Barnara out there.
Do I think any of the these things could be affected by a little tentacle gun, like slap them off or something with it?
Quite possibly. They're well within your sights, so if you think it doesn't look like they're attached to the ship by anything other than their thin little pseudopod. So if you hit them with enough force, you'll probably shoot it right off.
I'll go to the weapons room and start messing with that then.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so Barnora and Vorvan, get yourself up on the turn order. And anybody else
Is
that
the
wants
squares
to...
on here still 1 for 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the exterior dimensions are the exact same as the interior dimensions that I showed earlier.
Right.
So Barnara, when you climb up on the top of the shell, you see this real jelly-like creature with its pseudopods down, and it's dripping, or not really dripping, it's like injecting this acidic type stuff on the shell. It seems to be sizzling, and you see bubbles of acid just kind of floating off into the ether. And it seems to be sucking some of the nutrients it's getting from the shell into its gelatinous body. And inside the bloated body of this thing, it's got like these little eyeball-like things that are like darting around. So what are you guys going to do?
Which one are you heading at? I guess are you gonna go berserk, right?
Not yet. I want to see what the creature can do first.
All right.
All right, guess I'm gonna run up and attack.
Delano, I'm afraid that you're not able to fit into a suit. It would have to be, if you know a tailor, it would have to be adjusted for one that is your size.
Or Nora's a tailor, but she's outside.
What's Delano? Is he a halfling?
Yeah, Delano's a halfling.
He's a halfling.
Okay, so both of you climb up on the top shell and move over to the first parasite. Very good. So you should be able to get there with your move. What are you going to do for your action?
I'm going to attack it. Does a 20 hit it, and does it hit it by 5?
20 hits it easily, and it does hit it by much more than 5.
All right, it's going to have to make a strength challenge roll or be knocked prone.
Okay, it seems to be attached to the hull pretty good, and it succeeds on a strength challenge roll. You do any damage?
Yep, 22.
Okay, well, it really doesn't matter that it's still attached to the hull because you burst its gelatinous sac, and it just kind of the whole innards of this thing just kind of spreads out all over the place. In fact, I need for you to make an agility challenge roll yourself, or you're going to get some acidic goop on you.
Whew. 9 plus 2, 11.
All right, you managed to get away from these floating blobs of acid as they float by you. But one parasite down. Where to next?
I guess that would be Vorvon's turn.
I was going to cast at it, but it's dead. Really not much I can do. Well, I guess I could do Special Grasp on the one you're going. Are you going to go
not
south?
within sight.
Yep.
Oh, I can't see that one.
Nope. It's on the wing level, so it's actually below the surface of the shell.
And the other one?
The other one you can see. It's a bit further away though, so you'd have to have a good range on your weapon to be able to target it.
I have medium, so he's within 20. So I can cast that.
Okay.
Because he is within 20, so I will pray for guidance here.
All right, very good. What does Spectral Grasp do?
Mostly just still do a little bit of damage, and then if I get 20 or more, it does a little bit more, and then he has one Bane for only one round though on attacks.
Okay, so what does it create, like a skeletal hand around it or something, and squeezing it?
Yeah, basically. It squeezes a tentacle.
Gotcha. All right, so it takes, your spell takes effect, and it does 3 damage to the creature. It's squeezing it a bit, and it seems to be hurting it. Of course, you can't hear anything out here, so
can't hear any screaming.
Yeah. So that is both of your turns. Now the parasite's turn. I don't know why a parasite is no longer up there. Oh, because you killed it. There we go. All right, so that parasite will stop munching on its Ether Beast meal and will deal with the threat at hand. And it will launch itself from this wing It launches itself from the wing and it lands right there on the shell. And you can see the gelatinous mass of it kind of bulge in one spot and then eject a blob of acid in your direction. And the parasite spits corrosive slime at one target, creature, or object within short range of it. The parasite makes an agility challenge roll against the target's agility. On a success, the target takes d6 plus 2 damage. So it has to beat your agility. And it rolls a 7, so I'm thinking it probably missed. What's your agility?
But who was it attacking?
Sorry, Vorvon.
Me? Mine's 11. So.
Yeah, so the blob of spit just shoots by you without connecting.
Floats
So
into space.
You're safe for now. That was the first round. Let's go on to the second round. You going fast or slow? It's going to continue to go slow.
So are we? I'm guessing. At least I am.
Baron, I will tell Baronora they are hostile.
Obviously. Well, I can't talk.
Obvious.
I can't talk. I'm in a suit. And that thing.
You can do sign language. No shit, Sherlock. There you go.
I would flip you off, but I don't have middle fingers anymore.
You don't. Oh.
All right, so you guys go first.
After you.
All right, I reckon I'm going to run up and attack it. It's been working so far.
All right.
17 plus 3 plus 2. 22.
Yeah, that hits well beyond 5.
Mm-hmm.
Just got to make that strength challenge roll again.
It's got a decent strength, but it fails horribly.
It is prone.
All right.
Take that.
It is prone, but unfortunately in the ether, the prone doesn't mean it falls down. It actually falls up. So it begins to float off into the ether. And it does so at the rate that I mentioned earlier. What is that? 1 yard per round at the end of
It
each
does
round.
take 13 on its way up, though.
How much damage?
13.
13? Okay, well, it actually explodes again because it only doesn't have that much substance to it. So give me another agility challenge roll yourself to see if you get any of the acid blobs on you.
14.
All right, you're
plus
good.
2.
All right, so this parasite falls off, and then you got one more that is causing problems.
We don't know where it is, but we know there's a third one around here.
You were shown where it is.
Yeah, because he shows the view screen.
Oh, okay.
But you know where he is. It's just below us.
Guess we'll head for that one.
Okay, give me intellect, give me perception challenge rolls with with 2 banes, and just give me a perception challenge roll with 2 banes.
16 plus 1 minus 6, 11.
Okay, Vorvon.
Yeah, I'm almost there. There we go. -1.
Wow. Okay. Okay, Vorvon, you are focused on the challenge at hand. However, Baronora, you're kind of paranoid and looking around as this is a totally alien environment that you're in. And as you are looking around, you notice something on the side of the ship that starts to concern you. And the thing that you're noticing is something dark apparently has appeared on the side of the shell, and another thing that is dark appears on the side of the shell, and then it kind of pulls itself up, and it looks like As it pulls itself over the top of the shell, it looks like one of the reen that was trying to get into the ship on the surface of the planet managed to hold on and is now working its way up to the top of the shell. So now you got that to contend with. On the inside of the ship, the rest of you also see this additional threat materialize on the magical viewing screen that the bot is projecting in the control room. So now you've got a parasite and a reen to deal with.
I smack Vorvon and I point at the reen.
Yeah, because I don't notice him. Okay, I notice him now, and I say, Green Glow, fire the weapons. Fire.
Okay, your turns. What are you going to do?
I am going to punch myself and go berserk.
We lose Dan? Looks like we lost Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan must have lost his internet or something.
Ask Green Glow to point out a scroll of Aetherskin and grab a tank of air if I can go out there.
Yeah, you probably can.
A halfling could.
Yeah, because all you need is the spell.
I think he's wanting you to cast it on him, and
Oh, gotcha.
so he can go out there.
I will go grab a scroll.
You can cast the scroll a lot easier than he can.
Yeah. And then I will... Is there a way to copy a scroll that without knowing the spell?
Not if you don't know it, I don't think.
If you've got a copy of it, can you?
I'm not sure. I'd have to check the rules.
You might have to do it like at full cost or something, because remember it was like half cost if you already had it. And then maybe it's at full cost if you don't.
How many extras do we have of these?
There were 10 in there, but I'm looking at the incantation rules. It does say you can create an incantation of a spell that you have learned or copy an incantation you already possess. In either case, you must have a writing kit, special inks worth at least half the incantation's price, and a surface on which to write. It takes 1 hour to create an incantation. So,
and then if you know it, then it's like cheaper.
Okay. I will keep that in mind so we can make copies of these. And then I will cast the ether on Mark.
Okay.
Oh!
Nice. Well, Delano can come help us.
Okay,
So
so Delano, you are magicked up. You got the ether skin growing on you, and you grab a tank of air, mask, and some rope. So you can make it out next round. All right, back to this round. Vorvon. We don't need 2 Vorvons. Vorvon, Barnora. Who's going first? Oh, Barnora's already moved.
I went berserk, moved, sheathed the sword, so I only have the axe. And I'm wielding it two-handed.
All right, rock on. You still get an
And
attack,
that's my
right?
turn. Well, technically, I attacked myself by punching myself to go berserk.
Oh, okay. All right, so sounds like you're done. So let's move on to Vorvon.
So I think I want to stay away from the berserker. At least for right now. So I'll look down at the parasite.
Okay, it's busily sucking away at the dissolving shell.
All right, I'm going to see how he likes it. I'm going to launch transfusion at him.
Okay.
Praying for guidance. Damn it.
Do you have
Yeah,
any
and he
boons
did
or
say they
banes
have
with
good
that?
strength.
I had 1 boon on it, and unfortunately I rolled too low.
Yeah, it's a shitty roll. Sadly, that is not sufficient to hit the creature. It actually dodges out of the way.
I figured. Or he resists it with his strength. It hits him, but just nothing happens.
I'm sorry. It's versus
Because I hit
strength.
his strength.
It definitely misses then. Its strength is actually better than its agility.
No. Is it better than his defense?
Yeah.
His strength is higher than his defense? Oh, man.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the Reen. The parasite strength and defense is actually the strength is better than the defense. So yeah. So either way, he missed. All right. So that was Vorvon's turn. Now the Reen faces the Berserk Barnora and will attack with its tentacles. And rolls a 16 to hit. How's Barnora's defense? 17.
That does not hit.
All right. So these tentacles start wailing at you, but you're smacking yourself in the face and making yourself crazy and dodging tentacles left and right. So none of them connect with you. The Reen seems to be doing more damage to the shell than it is to you. So that was it for that. Now the Ether Parasite notices Vorvon above him and will try to spit up a glob of acid at you. So it makes an agility attack against your agility. Vorvon. So let's see how this works.
No.
11 to hit your agility?
Yeah, there you go.
Gotcha. All right, so you take, what is that?
1d6 plus 2.
All right, 1d6 plus 1, 2, roll. 5 points of acid damage as the glob hits you square in the chest.
All right.
All right, next round. Delano, the exterior door opens and you are free to emerge from the ship and join the battle.
I think you need it. Did you drop him on the map?
Dan said rain.
His lightning must have knocked it out.
Not surprised.
All right, looks like everybody's going fast. Excellent. All right, Dan said rain knocked out internet. That sucks. Okay, well that's fine. He's chilling out inside like a chicken shit.
That Snake Man, I tell you.
Snake Man that he is.
He's talking to the corpse.
Insane chicken shit snake man, that is. All right, so that is the next round, and we have everybody up on the board except for Delano. So Delano, get yourself up there. And we need your miniature.
He needs a token.
Yeah, we need your dude out. So your dude is now out.
Oh, he actually pops out right in front of where the Reen will be. That's nice.
Yeah, well, you're below him actually. The Reen is up on the shell, and you just emerged from the portal, the ass portal.
Nice.
Okay. Delano's going slow, so let's put you down here. And Vorvon, Barnora, who's going first?
Go ahead, Vorvon.
All right.
Fighting the lesser of two evils.
Try and do the same thing. Like that. Dang it. So low.
All right, that is actually a hit.
Oh, it does hit her? Okay, well, that's good. So his hits goes down by 5.
His health goes down by 5?
Yeah, his health goes down by 5.
Okay.
And I get a blood point, which I'm going to spend right now because I'm hurt.
All righty. Very good. That was Vorvon's turn. Barnora, you're up. Or Delano. No, Delano's slow, sorry.
Yeah. Ooh, that was a nice roll. 15 plus 6 plus 2.
Okay, that's a hit.
Does that beat it by 5?
What was the total on that?
That'd be 23.
Just beats it by 5.
Wow. So it's got to make that strength roll.
Strength roll. Let me show you what that looks like. The Reen is a strong
Okay,
machine.
Six, 10, 15. 18 damage.
Ouch. All right. 18 damage. And you notice that the Reen is actually somewhat damaged already. So when you strike, what are you hitting it with?
The axe. I'm wielding it two-handed.
Okay, yeah. When you see that it's got like a central core where its eyes are, and then it's got all the tentacles coming off of it, and it's got this breach on it because taking off and holding on to the shell as you're emerging from an atmosphere apparently is not good for the Reen's health. So it took some damage just leaving the moon. And there was a hole in the shell that you targeted, and you buried your axe in that. And as you did, it basically burst that shell right wide open, and you cut through some vital wiring on the inside, and the whole thing explodes in your face. Detonation. When a Reen becomes incapacitated, it dies instantly and explodes. The blast extends into a 5-yard radius sphere centered on a point within its former space. Everything in the area, which would be Delano and Baranora, takes 3d6 damage. Each creature in the area must make an agility challenge roll, taking half damage on a success. So give me an agility challenge roll, or else you will be enjoying three sixes rolled together and added.
5 plus 2, 7. I failed. I'm taking all of it.
All right. It's not too bad, just 10 points of damage.
Oh, that's my bonus.
We're waiting on Mark. He says wait. Wait. Wait.
Working it out.
Good fortune. Whenever a creature within short range rolls a 1 on any die, you can use a triggered action to discard the roll and let the creature roll the die again.
That is correct.
Never mind.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't roll a 1.
Alrighty. So here's the more concerning part, though. Your ropes are also caught in the blast. And they also take 10 points of damage, which is enough to snap them. So as you take 10 points of damage, you are affected by the null gravity in that unsecured object in null gravity that takes damage from a weapon or other physical object is affected by something such as a blast immediately moves 1d3 yards farther away. So, let's see. Both of you are knocked. Roll 1d3. 3 yards away from the blast. So, Baranora, you are knocked 3 yards this way. Whoops. Nope. This way. And Delano, you are knocked 3 yards this way, which puts Delano in a precarious position since he is no longer attached to the ship.
First woman.
And Baranora suddenly grew in stature. Okay. So, that was the Reen's turn. The ether parasite still has to go. And then Delano can go. So the ether parasite's going to spit another glob of acid up at Vorvon. So
Alright.
Vorvon, this is against your agility, and that's pathetic. So never mind.
I dodge it heroically.
You do, and it doesn't matter that the ether parasite is apparently farsighted. So the parasite's turn is over, and now it's Delano's turn. And Delano, you are floating out in space like Major Tom to ground control. So what are you going to do?
Stick his head between his legs and kiss his ass goodbye.
Start swimming, that works. Just start swimming.
Well, he can tie what's left of the rope onto a crossbow bolt and then try to shoot it into the ship.
There you go.
I thought you had the cord with you.
Okay, he's going to shoot his crossbow diagonally. Just a crossbow? Just a bolt? Are you trying to use it like a retro rocket?
Yeah, I guess so. Because would that work? I mean, it's force going that way.
A little bit.
If he shoots it that way, it might go this way.
Would that be enough force for his mass to move his mass the other direction?
Well, he's a little guy, so I'd imagine so.
I could actually calculate that crap out, but
I think you should, Rob. I think you should.
it's MV, so
Right.
at the mass of a bolt.
Mm-hmm. No, it's actually wouldn't it be the force of the crossbow actually striking?
Yeah, the crossbow shooting out.
That energy goes forward and goes bam.
And
Yeah, but
turns
what if-
into the velocity of the bolt.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
before
the
you physics nerds get too deep into this, my thinking is that his crossbow, the force of the crossbow reaction has to be stronger than the action that launched him from the ship. It launched him 3 yards from the ship, so he's going at a rate of 3 yards per round at this point. I don't think his crossbow is going to generate enough reaction to counter that. It might slow him down, but it's not going to launch him in the opposite direction.
Tie a rope to the crossbow bolt and then shoot me.
That's my game physics.
Well, how much would it slow him down, Rob?
I would say it'd slow him down to 1 square per round. So he's moving at 3 squares around right now. It would slow him down by 1 square per round for each crossbow bolt he shoots in the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You don't think so, Rob?
Now, if he had a burrito for lunch,
Yeah.
and could expel some gas, that would be a different story.
Only if it was Mexican food.
If he had a heavy rock and he threw it in the opposite direction, that'd help too.
Oh, really?
Yes, cumulative shots would have a cumulative effect.
The problem is it the mass of the bolt is too small?
I'm not going to stress about it too much. Just for
Well, that's what I was just
purposes of the
wondering.
game, if he shoots a crossbow bolt in the opposite direction, it's going to slow him down 1 square.
Right. No, I just wondered if that's part of what Rob was thinking.
In reality, it probably wouldn't have any effect at all, but
You don't think it would at all?
It would. Well, it would have a little bit. The
Depending on how
reality
much
is-
of the explosion the creature was. I'm guessing it was a pretty big explosion.
Yeah, that would be something.
3d6 damage.
if it had a 50 feet per second velocity coming off,
Mm-hmm.
okay, then, but the mass is 1/100th,
Mm-hmm.
so you're only getting like a half a foot a second reduction.
Half a foot reduction. Wow.
Well, the thing is it's the weight. There's not a lot of weight there.
Right. So he has to keep firing.
He has to either have it at really high velocity, or he has to have a really big weight, one or the other.
Okay.
Okay, so at the
I
end
still
of
think
this
the easiest
round,
bet is to tie a rope to the bolt and then shoot Baronara with it.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Well, the turtle's not going to feel it.
I would say the rope to the deal would probably be a better bet.
Then keep shooting the other direction.
But in a reality. But since we're not in reality and we're never going to be in orbit with crossbows,
We
on a
Can't
giant
test the
space turtle.
theory.
suggest defaulting to the DM and not bothering.
Well, wouldn't this creature have gravity or just not enough?
No, it has gravity, but it wouldn't be a lot of gravity.
All right.
Though technically, since it's keeping us on the ship with artificial gravity, why it can't exude that artificial gravity outside the ship is the mysteries of the universe.
The mysteries of it. They are always mysteries.
Of every fantasy show except for maybe Expanse.
Oh, really?
Expanse tries to do it right.
I haven't seen that show. I've heard it's good.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Took a fairly technical approach to everything. So not 100%, but they
closer than most.
Yeah.
All right, so
Now
it
go ahead
sounds
and
like Mark is
yeah,
going
go
to
ahead and
shoot
shoot the ship, shoot the shell, and that's just a 5, so he's going to do that with no issues.
All right, as part of your action, Delano ties a rope to the crossbow bolt and fires it at the ship. It hits the ship solidly, lodges the bolt into the shell, and you know the ship doesn't like it, but you know it's a big ship and it can take it. So you are now being dragged along by the ship with the rope. So you're gonna pull yourself in. Affirmative. All right. So that was Delano's extremely long action for that round.
Well, no, we had to do it right. I mean, it took a long time to figure it. I mean, we had to do the right thing.
You are correct. I'm just giving you guys some shit. So let's move on to the next round. Get yourself on the board. We only have one opponent left.
Yeah, because then it breaks immersion, and you know,
absolutely,
just no fun for anybody.
It's cinematic, not real.
I'm just appreciative of the fact that you guys can immerse yourself in the fantasy of being on the back of a giant space turtle attacking space amoebas.
And then argue about using science.
And then actually using real physics.
All right, so it looks like everybody except for Delano's up there, but we know what Delano's doing this round. So, Vorvon and Baranara, what you doing?
I'm going to spell the parasite.
Nice.
Take a spectral grasp attack.
All right, you hit it with your spectral grasp, and it grabs it and squeezes some juice out of it, but it is still hanging on, just barely.
It is mighty. It is a mighty opponent.
It is a mighty opponent, even after you drained it.
I know.
All right, so that was Vorvon. Baranora, you're up.
All right, I'm charging.
Well, he's below you.
It is below you, so you have to jump down to it.
Why not?
That can be part of your charge.
You're going to fly off into space again.
Does a 12 hit it?
A 12 does indeed hit it.
Oh, wow. I did not expect that. 1 from that, 2 from Berserk. 1 from there. 8, 11, 12, 14 damage.
Excellent. And the sack bursts, and every guy, no guy ever wants to hear that, but the sack bursts, and the acid comes out. Give me an agility challenge roll, please, to avoid that D6 of damage.
And you have to be right next to him, right?
Yeah,
get affected by that?
you're safe.
Okay.
11.
All right, you're good. So you got rid of the parasites, you got rid of the unexpected rain. You guys are good to re-enter the cabin and collect your floating halfling. As soon as you enter the ship, you notice that something is amiss, as the interior of the ship is glowing bright blue color. But we will have to find out what is going on with that next week.
Next week.
As we are now at the 10 o'clock hour, and our time together has come to an end. But before you go, I do want to leave you with this parting gift. You do need to level your character up to 4th level for our next session.
Yeah.
I can start giving out. Go ahead.
All right. We will continue our adventures in the ether next week. So hopefully you guys can make it. I will definitely be there. So any parting words for our viewing audience?
Nope.
I know of one viewer in particular. He keeps writing me on YouTube saying that he's enjoying the videos. So Anderson Lane, thank you for watching. Thank you. You are the only person that is.
Well, he definitely deserves a shout out, so I'm sure he likes that.
Yeah.
You got your shout out. So, all right, guys, catch you next week, and hope you have a good real life week ahead of you. And I'm going to shut up now.
Take care. See you next time.
Later.